This episode of Podasaurus has spoilers in it for Man of Medan and Until Dawn, so you have been warned.
Welcome to the Podasaurus. This is just a little intro chorus. Welcome to the Podasaurus. We'll be talking about some games and more. Welcome to the Podasaurus. Kyoryu and his friends long for us. Hopefully. Welcome to the Podasaurus. So listen up, it's time for Podasaurus.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Podasaurus on this lovely day. I'm here with. Okay, hold on, I screwed up.
No, keep going.
No,
Keep going.
I'm here with co-host KyoryuSaurus.
What?
Fucking hell. Okay, hold on.
No,
We're starting over. We can't. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is TimberTaft with the Podasaurus. I am your host today, alongside co-host KyoryuHunter and Ken.
Yo.
Hello.
My favorite part is he thinks I'm going to cut that out.
So today we have a very exciting lineup for all of you. As usual, we will be talking about games that we want to talk about, as well as other random things that we want to talk about. So to start us off, Kyoryu, what is a random thing that you would like to discuss today?
What?
What do you mean, what? What do you mean, what? Tell me, say a thing that we're going to talk about. Anything.
What? You're the host. Why are you throwing this back to me?
I'm allowed to ask questions. This is just a question.
Okay, let's talk about Animal Crossing.
Neat. Animal Crossing.
Or do you want to ask how we've been first?
I think how we've been is probably a more urgent
I mean, you're
question.
the host. You're the host.
That's true. I am the host. So I think I will, in fact, ask the question, how are you guys doing today?
Okay. Or you can.
I'm alright.
I'd say the same. Things have been interesting. I've been working on getting the Witcher script done. It's actually finalized, so I can actually start working on that video now, which is not the song. The song is done. Toss a Coin is out there. People are tossing coins. So I think we're on a good path there. But yeah. So obviously the agenda for this week is Animal Crossing, because it came out. And we discussed it last time, but
it did.
We discussed it last time, but the funny thing about Animal Crossing is that you could pretty much never not play it, and there'll still be something to do. So I'm excited to know how you guys progressed in Animal Crossing, what kind of stuff you were up to. Obviously, I saw you, Ken. Actually, I didn't see Ken. I saw Kyo. And we like exchanged stuff. We went to each other's islands. We were really good pals, right, Kyo?
Yeah, of course. I went over to your island randomly, and I felt like I was intruding on a date, and so I left. Well, I get there, and just like
Was
him
that
and
true?
Alchemy Fox just like both greet me, and they're just like staring at me, and I'm just like, I don't know. This is really weird. I don't know what to do here.
Well, to be honest, I was a little bit shocked because I didn't realize that is how open the online component was. So when I opened the gate, my logic was, no one's gonna come. It's just easier to do this. So I opened the gate so Alchemy Fox could come over. And then as we were doing some stuff, all of a sudden I see a new visitor's coming. I was like, huh? Who could be coming right now? Who's coming? And then I see Kyo, and I'm like, oh, right, I had other friends. Uh-oh.
Good job.
But no, it was cool. I think my favorite part of that whole thing was you left, and after you'd gone, I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to go to bed. And then I was like starting to prepare to like see Alchemy Fox off to her island and then go to my little cabin bed. And as I'm about to see her off, I hear the chime again, and I go, is Kyo trolling me? Is he coming back right now? And I look at the airport, and it's a different friend of mine entirely. I was like, oh my god. So I ended up staying like 3 extra hours that night because people kept showing up to my island.
Oh, that happened to me last night. I think it was last night or the other night. I'm just like, I was trying to finish what I was doing. And I even went out of my way to I sent the person home. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna close my gates, put up the dinosaur fossils everyone's been giving me, and then shut off my Switch. Go that way. Someone shows up. I'm like, what the hell?
Normally it's an exciting surprise, but as you're trying to go to sleep, the last thing you want to hear is beep, beep, beep. I'm like, no! I'm trying to go to bed!
You can
Stop!
just disconnect it.
Yeah, that's true. I can, but...
You can be a jerk. It's completely fine.
But, no, it's been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying Animal Crossing. I think this is... maybe it's just because this is the first one that I've truly tried to play and enjoy, but I feel like there is a charm to this one that maybe wasn't always... Because I love island theming and ocean theming and that kind of stuff, so seeing that theme applied to an Animal Crossing game, I think makes it even more appealing to me, more relatable than what I would typically see from those, which is usually just we're in the woods, or we're in some other woods. I feel like the theming for this one's really on point.
Yeah, it's a deserted island. How's your island doing? Have you unlocked stuff yet?
I've been getting there. So at this point, I do have a museum. It's a beachside museum. I'm very happy with that location, and I also put some palm trees next to it. Yeah, are there floods?
Maybe.
Well, that won't be good. But for now, it's a beachside museum. Very cool. The store is not open yet because it requires far too much iron.
Really?
I think Ryan warned me about that. It's 30.
I stood up 3 hours trying to grind tickets to go to random islands so I can hit things with shovels and get more iron.
I didn't have a problem getting that, I don't think.
I did have a little bit of a boost because one of my islanders was like, hey, it sounds like you're trying to make a store. I was going to use this iron for free weights, but I think a store would be way cooler, so he just hands me 10 iron. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I had no iron, that's why, so...
But it's still taking forever for me to get that part. I finally went to a deserted island. There was some weird pink squirrel on it, and I went, yeah, no, I'm going to get a different islander.
You need to pick 3 as soon as possible.
Sorry?
You need to get 3 islanders as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I know, but also the first one, to my understanding, I can be picky with the first one, where that's not really a thing with the other ones, so I'm trying to be selective with the first one that I choose.
Who was the squirrel you didn't like? If it was static, I'm going to be really pissed off.
It's a pink hamster thing. I don't know, she's a girl hamster.
I don't know, she's like a girl.
She's like a girl hamster. I don't know. I didn't really catch her name because I was like, you're strange, and then I moved on. I don't know.
If you think those are bad, just wait until you start having campsite visitors.
Yeah, the first one that came to mind was the worst, and I'm just like, well, frick, I need to progress with the story, so I'll just take you some.
Do you have to take the first? Do you have to take that first one?
Well, to progress with Tom Nook's grand plan, you kind of need people, and I was just like, I want to get this out of the way already.
But can I wait and get a new campsite person, or will they always be that one person?
I haven't tested that theory, but I think they'll change every couple days or so.
Because I hate the one I saw immediately. I'm like, I am not getting anywhere near you. So I'm trying to ignore them as best I can. Because if I have to take them, I will. And then I will use one of my amiibo cards and bring in Apollo or Mira and get rid of them.
Anything, I think once Shizue is a more applicable power in your town, you can ask her to get rid of them.
Yeah, you can ask her to she's like, oh, if you don't like someone, you can isn't there a way to like sell villagers too? I heard.
I'm not too sure about the cell. I know the torture part.
I believe that's called slavery.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past.
There, so I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Are we even human? We're just called villagers. They don't call us humans ever.
Maybe we're kind of like the humans in like Moomin, where they like technically have a tail if you look hard enough.
I've never seen Moomin.
Well, I'm sorry for you. I'm just kidding.
Well, I didn't grow up in Asia or Europe, so I don't know who Moomin is.
I don't know. My Alchemy Fox started having me watch a few episodes of it recently. It's a very relaxing show. It's very I don't know. That with Animal Crossing just like puts you to bed. You watched it as a kid?
Yeah, because they played it at 5 o'clock in the morning before Dragon Ball Z.
Were you as excited for Moomin as you were for Dragon Ball?
No, I kept on yelling at the hippos to move and hurry up and end the show.
What language was it in hippos. For you? Was it in English?
Yeah, it was in English.
For some reason I thought you would get like the Japanese version just because of the proximity.
No, I mean, we do have the Japanese version. So we had, when I was watching Dragon Ball as a child, right around the Saiyan Saga, they were already doing the Majin Buu tournament. So we saw episodes of the Majin Buu tournament before it was made into English. And we had no idea who anyone was. We didn't know who Gohan was. Or we thought that Goku was was Goten. We had no idea who any of the characters
it's literally the exact same.
We didn't understand Japanese. Only one of our friends did, so.
Random question about that. Why is it every other half Saiyan's hair grows out, but Goten's doesn't?
That is a good question. I'm not too sure about that.
Have you noticed that? That's the only one whose hair doesn't grow out, because he's just little Goku.
Yeah, he's just little Goku. I thought they changed it when he was in Super, but I'm not too sure. I haven't watched Super yet.
I haven't either. I like kind of want to, but at the same time, I kind of don't care anymore. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at with a lot of like old anime stuff like that. Like, I'd like to see the newer ones, or the newer parts, but I just don't care anymore. It's like, you know, what's today? Today is March 31st, 2020. I stopped watching most anime about 5 years ago. Not even like I'm done with this. I just stopped for some reason. I haven't thought to go back.
I mean, I guess your case is a lot more just cut and dry, not watching anime, but I have seen the meme roll around about, like, watch a 9-season shonen from the 1990s? Nah. Watch, like, I'm trying to remember exactly what they said, but, like, 10 different anime that are, like, 10 to 20 episodes long. Yeah. Like, it's a lot easier to just chew up shows when they're in short form than going to one of those, like, long legacy campaign anime from the past, like the One Pieces, the Narutos, the Dragon Balls, where it's just like, man, I don't know if I want 10 seasons of this, even if I like it.
I'm like that with everything, though. Like, I don't want to watch, like, this is going to come weird and kind of sound hypocritical as someone who just finished all of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I don't like TV shows that go on for way too long. Star Trek: Next Generation definitely did. That last season was really weird. There was a bunch of just, like, kind of bullshit episodes in there. Like, I think there was one whole episode for Beverly Crusher where, like, her grandma came back kind of in a holodeck. It was a really weird episode. I think I even fell asleep during it. Where, it was like, what?
Where her grandma was, like, reborn as the Yeah, okay.
It was super weird. And I was like, what is going on with the show? This is the same show that had Mark Twain got transported to the future by accident.
Whoopsie.
Oh, that one was so funny. He just, like, somehow, he's, like, walking around, like, on the Enterprise and just really confused, like, by George, what's going on around here? And I'm like, why is this happening? It's so weird.
You know, it's a really weird episode, and I find it hilarious that you grabbed onto that, because I believe that was considered the, like, worst episode of the series.
It's not.
In hindsight, it's hilarious. It's just you have to view it in that, like, for that mindset, not from, this is not going to philosophically enlighten me, this episode. But
there is an actual objectively worst episode of the show. And it's the episode, I think it's at the end of season 1 or season 2, where Riker, I think, was like critically wounded and was dying, and they had a clip show while he was going through, like he just, like, I don't know if his body was shutting down or he got really sick and was dying, and he just, like, going through all of his memories from that season, or if it was season 2, the 2 seasons.
Oh no, yeah, that one. That was like,
so
basically,
bad.
Hey, do you remember season 1? And then just like...
It's really, really, really bad. I don't know who allowed that episode to be made, but no one likes it. That's not even... Yeah, but that's just a typical filler episode thing. I mean, I don't like it, and TNG certainly didn't do it great, but I can't think of a show where, like, an episode where it's like, let's relive all it... Like, I actually, no. There is one. Avatar, The Last Airbender, in the Book of Fire, where they actually have the play that represents, like, everything that happened at that point.
That episode was amazing.
Yes, I'm saying that is great. That is the one time I can name that was actually a really well done recap episode.
Yes.
I've never seen Avatar The Last Airbender, but I've just seen pictures of it and it looked dumb.
You should really watch it. Break your vow of anime silence.
Okay, it's not anime. It's not anime. It's not anime.
It's anime-esque.
No, it's Amerime.
Amerime.
If I'm going to watch anything related to Avatar The Last Airbender, I'm going to watch the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, yeah. No. That's amazing. It's like horribly...
That exists.
Why are you encouraging this, Ken?
It's like a plane crash. Like, keep on getting worse and worse by the minute. I love it. I saw it in 3D,
as a first exposure?
Too.
Speaking of great live-action anime adaptations, if no one has seen Dragon Ball Evolution, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it was good.
Justin's, like,
pooping
face is, like, amazing.
I love that reaction.
No, go back. You heard what? By who?
What? I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I can't tell because you're Timber.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's obviously no, not that one. That's like in the same ballpark as Avatar.
What are some other, like, movie adaptations of games that were actually like Mario? Mario can't be brought up.
Are we looking for all? Oh wait, are we looking
Mortal
for
Kombat
so bad it's good ones?
Or just like any live action adaptation of anime or games, it's like egregiously terrible that, like, everyone would agree is really bad, but you'd watch it for the you'd watch it just, to get drunk during, like, I don't know, a drinking
Mortal
party
Kombat
type
Annihilation.
Of thing. Dead or Alive. DOA Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive. To quote one of
plot?
My favorite lines from the Mortal Kombat, it is, "This is glorious!" From Shao
The DOA movie is, like, it looks so like bad. A softcore porn they took all the porn parts out of. Like, it looks like the storyline for pornography, but all the good bits were removed so it could, like, get an M rating.
Same for the acting. The acting is god-awful.
I mean, that's why I say it looks like porn.
Right, now, obviously, there's the Mario Brothers movie. That's a national treasure.
Did any of you see the Death Note adaptations, the US ones, the live-action ones?
I just couldn't, man. I just couldn't. I got 5 minutes in, and I wanted to punch Light so hard, I stopped the whole thing.
See, they got me with Willem Dafoe as Duke.
He was good. That was good.
I haven't watched it.
That series.
I didn't watch it, but, like, they had me with that. Like, they had my interest. I'm like, okay. Like, if anyone looks and can act like Duke, it's Willem Dafoe. He looks exactly like him. No makeup needed. But then, like, when they, like, basically changed it to, I don't know, some bratty American white guy is, like, Kira, I'm like, no, you lost me here. You lost me there.
It wasn't good. That one, as somebody who really liked the original show, I wasn't even able to enjoy that as a so bad it's good. That was just a bad. It was just a bad.
To be fair, the show is, like, okay. Like, the show is good until a certain character dies, and then it goes downhill.
I was able to still enjoy the later parts, but I'll admit they weren't memorable. Like, it definitely goes from being an amazing show to being, yeah, it's here, you know. So it definitely takes a dive in quality. I still thought it was enjoyable, just not to the same degree.
What was that acting you just did for? Oh, it's so good. Is that a preview of your next cover for YouTube?
What? I don't even know how I would work that in. That'd have to be like a mumble rap cover.
Oh, so like the karaoke rap?
Oh wow, shade.
Shade. Everyone likes the Gary Oak song.
Yeah.
And anytime someone's like, "Can Timber rap?" I'm like, "Yes." Hold on, let me bring up the video because he made this.
Yeah.
Hey, what we're talking about Animal Crossing. So,
hold on. No, we were talking about bad shows of video games. Is there an Animal Crossing movie?
Yes, there is. There's an anime movie.
Oh,
yeah, it's just called Dolbutsu no Mori. It's just called Animal Crossing. It's all.
Is it live? Is it live action?
No, I wish.
Yeah, I imagine not. But
the first Animal Crossing game had live action commercials, and that's what got me to buy the game.
Yes, I totally forgot about those.
They're so good. There's just like
we'll sell it to the raccoon.
Is that what they say in that? Like
they call Tanuki a raccoon.
True. Well, I mean, we don't have Tanuki, so that would make sense. Remember, because this was also like what 2004 America. We didn't even know what Japan was. We had just heard of like anime like recently. So like it was these people dressed up.
That's the only reason.
True. It was these people dressed up like the old style villagers, the old ones. Like now you can customize everything. No. You had like these weird looking faces. You could be one of 8 randomly generated characters, basically. And I think there's 4 for boys, 4 for girls. They all had the same terrible hats. The boys had these Viking horns, and the girls had hair that resembled the horns. And it looks awful.
Yeah, it's really terrible looking. I could never. That's one of the reasons I could never get into Animal Crossing. I was like, it just looked so dumb. It was like I didn't understand. I couldn't understand the design philosophy of Animal Crossing. At least not at its rudimentary stages.
I mean, I personally loved it. What'd I do? I bought the game. I rented the game actually for an entire year straight because I had Game Pass from Blockbuster and I only used it on Animal Crossing. And it was cheaper just to buy the game at that point. My parents would just keep renting the game for me. I'm like, well, I just want Animal Crossing again. I didn't want to give it back because what if I missed one of the special events that was going on throughout the year?
Yeah. I had a similar thing with Kingdom Hearts where I had effectively rented a game for 3 weeks straight, beaten the game, and then afterward went, there's a platinum trophy, and then I rented the game for another 3 weeks so that I could beat Sephiroth, and then I returned it to Blockbuster and probably a year later just bought it because I was like, you know what, I think they deserved my actual money at this point.
Are you talking about the PS3 versions?
No. That was the original PS2, Kingdom Hearts 1.
What do you mean platinum trophy?
There's a platinum trophy in the Coliseum.
Oh, okay. I was confused. I'm like, did you just play it on PS3?
The OG platinum trophy, okay?
Kingdom Hearts 1 is such a hard game to go back to because it's kind of terrible, but it's maybe the most like charming of all of them. Because it doesn't it's not bogged down by all the it still has the terrible dialogue and like, you know, Darkness Hearts memories, but it's not bogged down with all that stupid organization shit yet. So like the game itself is still very Disney, and then after that they're just like, how about we go off the rails a bit? Would you like a 2-hour-long tutorial with a character that you will never see again?
I still really enjoy. I think Kingdom Hearts 2 is still my favorite, and it definitely has a lot of that just because it's better. It has the mechanical decency to let me have like rolls and double jumps early on instead of because that's what makes Kingdom Hearts 1 feel so clunky is that they have mobility moves, you just don't get them until like 3/4 of the way through the game, so the whole time you're just jumping up with your split leg jump going ha, and you don't actually like, you can't do like flowery combos or double jumps or rolls. God forbid rolls be included as a standard ability. Yeah, it was just still enjoyable, but there's definitely a lot of problems.
What were we talking about? We got on a topic of something else. We need to reel back in.
Reel it back in. Reel it back to Animal Crossing. I've been doing a lot of fishing in Animal Crossing because I want to catch the spring fish. Today is the last day. It's the last day to catch all the spring things.
Wow. I caught a
March
sea bass.
things, not spring things.
It's worth at least a C+.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those. I've seen a lot of dabs.
I love how people are just now
everywhere.
understanding how terrible sea bass is. Like, all the new people who are like playing Animal Crossing getting mad about it. I'm like, yeah, welcome to all the time where you just get sea bass and black bass and you hate them both. I caught a black bass. It's the most metal of all fish. And some fish actually have different quotes that they say. The squids have 3 separate lines that they say.
All of which are Splatoon references. It's great.
Yep.
No, one's a Mario one.
There's off the hook. Do they even bloop? And what was the third one?
I had an inkling.
I had an inkling. But they're all references to other games. I think a few more have those. I don't know if the octopus does or not. I haven't caught one yet.
Mad because I went and for the first time I was able to turn in multiple things to blathers at the museum, and I didn't realize what I was doing by doing that meant that he wouldn't actually comment on the things I gave him. So after I turned it, I was like, wait, what do you mean? What Blathers, you have to react to the tarantula. Why didn't you react? Why didn't you give me the funnies that I know you would give if I gave you a tarantula? But so that was a little bit annoying. Now I have to catch another one so I can hear Blathers give me his actual opinion about tarantulas.
You can't give him a second thing.
I mean, you can. He has a third menu option that's like, tell me about this, and I can actually do that.
Oh, okay.
Do it that way.
I just skip it because I don't care anymore. It's not that it's all recycled dialogue, but I'm like, after I heard a few of them, I was like, yeah, okay. Just take all my stuff at once and shut up.
I mean, Blathers could have a YouTube channel. I remember when I did my research for the ARC video, I did like a piece about the Dimetrodon not actually being a dinosaur, making a big spiel about it. And then I give him a Dimetrodon fossil, and he's all like, a lot of people say it's just a reptile. And I was like, wow, actually research. They actually did this.
Well, that's the one thing he likes.
It's
he kind of likes fish, he hates bugs, and he loves dinosaurs. Everyone keeps telling me I need to give him my fossils, but no, they are going up in my town, and I'm going to decorate my town in dinosaur fossils and just other prehistoric animal fossils. Except, no pterodactyls. No pterodactyls in my town. None. Absolutely not.
I bought the monster statue.
Oh, which one did you get?
Oh,
what
you
color?
got that.
The Godzilla one.
What color is yours?
It is the Heisei Arrow one, so kind of bluish.
Okay, mine's like blackish green.
Yeah.
And then Shotgun got a red one.
So I forgot that I bought him and I placed him somewhere in the town, and I ran across my town and almost had a near heart attack because I was like, what the frick is that? And
I need to get
totally
one.
Forgot. I was like, oh, I bought this statue that I placed in the random part of town. And I thought it'd be cool to see it on the off distance, not knowing that would be my undoing.
I'm really pissed off right now because I chose to buy the DIY recipe for the giant robot first. Because I'm like, I will buy that, I'll make it, and then tomorrow I'll buy the Godzilla statue. The
robot game
DIY the DIY recipe for the robot is fucking stupid. You want to hear what you need for this thing?
How much? What do you need?
Oh, let me tell you. So to make one robot hero, you need to have rocket, which it's an item, gold armor, which is a shirt, don't know how to get it, 30 rusted parts, which you get one in your town every time Gulliver you get one in your town every time Gulliver shows up. 90 iron nuggets, 10 gold nuggets. And the thing is, I don't know if you need gold nuggets to make gold armor, because I don't know if that's a DIY recipe or not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
So, this thing is just a bunch of go fuck yourself. And I'm mad because it costs the same amount as the dinosaur statue.
For the rusted parts, correct me if I'm wrong, but I had this happen where if you go start the quest with Gulliver, then collect all the computer parts that he asked for, and then don't give them to him, they turn into rusted parts after he leaves.
Well, from here on out, screw that guy. I'm keeping all of his parts because all he sends me is bullshit.
Oh, how do you find the parts? I have never been able to find the parts.
Oh, do you know how to find manila clams?
Yeah.
They're the same as like manila clams, but when he's around, you'll find rusted parts, or you'll find like his component parts.
Oh, so I just look out for the thing that's shooting out water, and then instead of clams, there'll be rusted parts.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I realize now, when I initially set up my town, I was just doing random stuff, and now I think the centerpiece of my village is that abomination of a Stegorex that I built, where it's just like the torso of a Stegosaurus with the head of a T-Rex.
Yeah, I saw that dinosaur, and that's partially why I left. I think I might have been in
this
voice
is a
chat.
Crime.
I think I might have been in voice
this is
chat
a
with
crime.
someone. I said, this is not a real dinosaur, I'm leaving.
It's a good thing it's a centerpiece of my village.
Yeah, I really wish I had other games to talk about this week and stuff like that, but I've really only been playing Animal Crossing. I have not done anything else game-wise off stream except for play Animal Crossing. Everyone's still playing it. People like during my streams are just like, "Oh, we're playing Animal Crossing right now." That's all anyone's doing at the moment.
I did have my randomizer night where I did Battlefield 3, and then the follow-up day, I did a little bit more Battlefield 3 on my own, and I stopped liking it. Like, I started to realize, like, initially, we were all shocked that there were people playing this shooter from, like, a decade ago, even though there's several more entries in the Battlefield series. But there are a lot of diehard, like, Battlefield 3 guys out there.
Well, it's like that with any game like that that's annualized. Like, what is it? My friend has, what year is it? I think he has a copy of MLB 2K12, and that's the only version he'll play because apparently all the other versions are terrible. Like, he's rented newer ones, stuff like that. He doesn't like how they made them, so he only just keeps replaying MLB 2K12.
But I think what ended up happening with me in that was, first, I started realizing, I think I actually preferred Battlefield 2, because 3 basically feels like Modern Warfare, and what I don't like about the Modern Warfare series and other modern military shooter genre games in general is that it's almost like they went, okay, the modern gamer does not have the attention span to have, like, long matches, guys. They need instant gratification. So what can we do here? Okay, what if the bullet kills them in one shot? Okay, sounds great. So it kills them in one shot. Now, what are they doing? They're probably running somewhere. Okay, are they running across, like, a field? Yeah, because if they're running across a field, they're going to die really quickly. So they're going to feel like a lot happened really fast. Awesome. How do they get kills? Well, everybody dies in one bullet. So all you have to do is see the one person and shoot them. And they're like, well, that sounds really easy. And then they're like, well, what if everybody has camo so you can't actually see them? Brilliant. Okay, make that game. So I spend the next, 3 hours just squinting at pixels trying to shoot things that shoot me just a split millisecond faster. And, yeah, I kind of lost my patience with it. Also, the communities have not gotten any less toxic in a decade. It's still...
No.
They will scream at you. It's amazing. I did not know these kind of communities are still out there. I assumed that everybody kind of grew up, but I think it's just the nature of those games.
How would you think people would grow up?
It's funny. I didn't think it was possible.
But Timber,
you're playing a competitive shooter. You're playing a competitive shooter, so...
To say this, it's still fun to play. The game is there's nothing wrong with liking the game. This is just a commentary on that kind of community.
Did you pause for a second because you didn't want to say "to be fair"?
To be fair,
I heard you say "to say this." I'm like, you had to say "to be fair."
I'm dodging bullets here. I'm trying really hard, like Neo,
you know what
to
game
not.
You should
there.
play though.
Yes.
Battlefield Hotline.
Battlefield Hotline.
Battlefield Hotline.
That is an in joke that you won't know because it's only between me and Ken.
Oh, okay. I was sitting here like, Hardline. What's happening?
It was from back when he used to work at GameStop, power to the coronavirus, and he would like get calls asking for like things like that, but they were just mad because did you not have Battlefield Hardline or something? Like, why were they mad at you about it?
Yeah, oh no, it was a call trying to explain a game to me, and it was Battlefield Hardline, and they're like, "Yeah, Battlefield Hardline. You guys got that?"
Oh.
How did they describe it? So they're just like from memory trying to explain one of the most generic games in the world.
Yeah, they were like, "It's a shooter, and you play online." And I was like, "Okay, is there anything like detail that you can kind of like tell me about this?" All this is over the phone, by mind you, not in person, where I could, grab a bunch of shooters and just show them to it. This is over the phone, so they're detailing me just the most generic quotes for shooters. And like, it took me a while to find out that they were talking about Battlefield Hardline. And it was, I think I just said, does like the environment like explode or like get destroyed over time after you shoot it? Yeah, that's it. I was like, oh, okay, you mean Battlefield Hardline? Yeah, Battlefield Hardline. You guys got that?
It's so amazing to me.
If you don't know what Battlefield Hardline is, it's a game made by the people who made Dead Space, because EA thought there was no more love left for horror games out there. So like, hey, let's take this company, this developer, who is known for making Dead Space and Dante's Inferno, two games that are fairly horror themed at least, or at least have some grotesque imagery and like, tongue nipples, whatever. And let's give them the Battlefield license and tell them to make a game about cops in Battlefield. So it's a game that no one asked for, with no audience, from a developer with no experience with that. And they wanted to know why it sucked, and then they closed Visceral.
Yeah, it was literally sent out to die.
I think it was they just needed a game that year. I think they really just needed a game that year. That's why they're like, just make Visceral do it. They're not doing anything else.
I just love imagining that there's this customer on the other line trying to explain Battlefield Hardline who are like looking at all of the marketing bullet points on the back cover, just being like, yeah, it has 14 new classes and 200 weapons to choose from and customize.
And mind you, I live in Hawaii, where a majority of the population of where I live are either Micronesian, Tongan, or Filipino. So obviously, this entire phone call was in an accent.
Well, that's just any phone call to any customer support in the world. It's like 90% of the time, you're going to be battling either static or an accent to try and help the customer.
So yeah, the customer didn't even come to pick up Battlefield Hardline. I was so mad about that at the end of the day.
That.
And I was like, yeah, I got it for you. I'll hold it for you. Just make sure you come by the end of the day. Otherwise, I'm putting it back on the shelf. Okay, I'll come as soon as possible. Nope.
Wait, he never came?
Yeah, he never came to pick up the game.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So that's what made it even worse.
Oh my god.
My time in Animal Crossing has been fantastic, by the way.
I like how we have no other games to talk about, so we're just going in and out of other topics and then going back to Animal Crossing.
This is the episode
I'm
about
trying
Animal
to proceed
Crossing.
forward because none of y'all asked what I was doing with it. So I'm like, I'll
That's
just
true. Like I'm sorry, Ken. Kyo was so eager to move away from Animal Crossing.
Well, say this, I'm not the host today.
This is true. Ken, tell us about your Animal Crossing experiences, please.
Well, besides the horror story, that was that monster statue that I had earlier.
Yep.
Nothing much. I just got the Able sisters. So I'm so happy.
I got them today as well. Do you have mustaches or beards or anything? There should be one.
I have a tier. I have a tier.
I don't want that. There's a handlebar mustache in mine. I bought it. I made so do you guys have a magic wand?
No, not yet.
I do as of yesterday. Celeste finally visited me.
So if you don't know, so in the game you get a magic wand, and what it is you can store 8 different outfits and just switch between them, and you can wear a separate one, so you can have 9 outfits that you can just change at will. So one of mine that I set, it's just called Lamar Howdy, and it's me with just like the tank top, the white tank top and white underwear, with a cowboy hat and a handlebar mustache, and it's just called Lamar Howdy. If you don't know what Lamar Howdy is, it's an emote we have in Discord from Aaron, which is just his cat with a cowboy hat on. So it's called that. So I've just been running around my town. I don't have shoes on. I have nothing else on. It's just the hat and the mustache and my underwear, basically, called Lamar Howdy. And I'm just running around town doing like God knows what. No one has stopped to ask me why I'm not wearing clothing. Kent, wasn't there something else you wanted to talk about that, like I told you, to save it for the podcast?
Yeah, besides Animal Crossing, I started playing Man of Medan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was like trying to think. I'm like, it's nothing current.
Medan.
So what is it? Okay, so yeah, Man of Medan is it Medan? Man of Medan? Medan. I have never learned how to pronounce this word.
Man of Medan.
Man of Medan.
So if you know what Until Dawn is, it's a game made by that same company with like the loosest use of the word multiplayer ever used. And it's another type of game like that. Tell me about it, Ken.
So I only played about an hour of the game, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't deal with this. It was the same thing that I had with Until Dawn, where it just scares the crap out of you for no apparent reason, just to be like, oh, hey, you're still there, kind of thing. So I got to the point right after the dive, and that took me about an hour.
How?
How
did that take you an hour?
I didn't know. So I didn't know how long the dive was supposed to be, because apparently it wasn't going to continue forward until you got that note in the missile tube.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to get it. And apparently that was the only missing clue. I was wandering the ship or the plane for like a good 20 minutes trying to go like, how am I proceeding back? Because I know for a fact they weren't down that long because of the scene beforehand where the pirates came and knocked the dive line off. I'm like, there's no way they could be down this long. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just grab the note and I'll try to make sure that she doesn't like drown or anything. And that was the reason why that I couldn't proceed with the story. And you know what? Fuck eels, because eels scared the shit out of me. So now I'm playing this with my other friend, not Mujihi, but another friend of mine who bought the game. And he wasn't paying attention, and the eel came, and I yelled out in the loudest volume I could, Jesus fucking Christ. And so now, any single time, any moment of levity, he will send me a picture of an eel just to fuck with me. So, yeah, no, I'm not going to go back to that game for quite a while. At least, I'm going to wait till, like, bright day, and then I'm going to play it. But it's interesting. I did like Until Dawn, the character moments, and, you know, Sean Ashmore of Iceman fame. Or, sorry, Animorphs fame, I should say that.
Okay, was that the guy on the cover?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, why do I know who this guy is? It's bothering me so much because I recognize you and I don't know who you are. Now, I really want to know your thoughts on that game as soon as you finish it, because I have lots of thoughts about it. I'm very...
Good or bad?
A little of both. Like, I like what they're doing with the games. Like, I like that they're making this anthology and, like, having more of this style of game come out. Because, okay, so I hate walking simulators and I hate Telltale style games. I like these because they somehow do the you're playing a movie thing well. Because, like, even though you're kind of going down a branching path, there's still, like, it's still fairly interesting to go through. Because, like, even Until Dawn was just, like, every bad, like, teenager, like, every bad like teenager cast horror movie ever made rolled into one, and they do it so well. Man of it doesn't have, it's not as good as Until Dawn by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like having these like bite-sized like 3 to 4 hour long horror games that you can play through. They all have a different theme. Like this one's Ghost Ship, basically. And then like the next one that's coming out called Little Hope looks like it's more of like witches in the woods or something like that. Or something like that. Maybe witches, vampires, I don't remember. But that looks interesting too. I'm like, I'm interested in getting like more
the same
of these.
Thing where I think that doing these bite-sized things is going to be really good for the developers and stuff like that. And I think this was the first initial test, and now the real test is going to be the next game in the anthology, which is going to be this witch game, I think.
Like, this feels more like a proof of concept of, like, this is what we want to do. They want to give people an idea of it without, like... Because, like, how long did it take them to make Until Dawn? Because they recorded all the footage and stuff for it, I think, several years before the game actually came out. Because...
It was supposed to be for the move, so that will tell you how long for the PS3 days. So it's been in development for quite a while, and it was supposed to be a move game. I remember seeing the initial pitches for this game, and I was like, oh cool, it's like a B-movie horror movie. I like what they're trying to do for the move, but it's a hard pass for me because I can't handle horror.
And that one too, like, I think they recorded it before Sam Raimi became Mr. Robot. That's how long before it was, because I'm like, why is Mr. Robot in here? Like, how did they get this guy? He should be pretty expensive. They had already gotten him before he was that popular.
I think the one of the coolest things about those type of games, specifically these bite-sized horror movie-esque horror games that they're developing, it has an element to it that makes it actually kind of a great party game, because you can have all your friends around you, and it is like experiencing a horror movie, but there's one extra leg of it, which is, instead of going, why did Jeremy go out the window? What an idiot. No one should go out the window when this is... Like, you have those moments in horror movies, right? In this one, you can go, okay, Jeremy, don't go out the window. And then, all of a sudden, everything else that happens is actually your fault. And it kind of removes that element, because now all your friends can turn to you and go like, Kyo, why didn't you go out the way? Like, all of a sudden there's this like onus of responsibility and placement of yourself in that environment and in that experience that makes it more visceral and less likely for you to really... It's almost a dodge for bad writing, because, well, you didn't have to take the poorly written option if you didn't want to. And they do a really good job of actually giving those split options as well. It's very rare, at least in Until Dawn, where a choice is rather unfortunately made on your behalf. I saw a lot of that in Telltale games, where things would just happen just because they needed it to. I did not feel that way with Until Dawn. It always seemed like whenever something could be chosen, you actually had control of it.
There were only a couple times where, like, have you played it, Ken, Until Dawn? Or have you seen all of it?
Yeah, I've played Until Dawn. That, don't ask me how long. It took me a while for that one game.
Because I'm just a quick spoiler on it. Like, initially in the game, at one point, you have to choose between Ashley and Josh. No matter which thing you pick, it will kill Josh. But there's like a reason for that you find out later on. Like, there's a reason you can't kill one or the other. And like, that's like, think one of those few times where you don't actually have a choice in that one. Because when I replayed it, I'm like, why did I not kill Ashley this time? Because you don't get a choice in that one. But that's very, very rare like that.
Hey, do I have I have a quick question.
Do I have a question?
I have a question on that. If you choose Ashley to die, and due to how that mechanic does work for that part of the game, or the part of the story, does she remember that?
Oh, she's pissed.
She definitely remembers that.
So later on in the game, when Chris is coming back in after the groundskeeper dude or whatever, like what they were running away from the Wendigo, and like she can open the door for him, you can lock, and she'll just sit there and stare at him and scowl and let him get killed. That's her remembering.
Oh, just because
if
you chose her to die.
if you ever choose her to die at all. Like either initially where it's either her or Josh, or later on where it's either you or her to be shot with the gun, she'll remember. And I think you only can get that option if, as Chris, you decided to be a dick and choose her instead of you. And she makes this face. I'm like, oh my god, that is the most. It's not even like it like goes way past petty. It goes way past petty because, like, you understand why she's letting him get killed, but, like, she's letting him get killed. She's just letting him die.
Yeah. Like, there wasn't a decision here. She just opted to commit murder.
It was petty vengeance.
Right.
I don't even know if petty describes it, because you could, like, choose to have her be, you know, to die instead. Like, you could choose her over you to get killed. So I don't know if that really is petty on that part of, like, oh, good job not, like, you know, trying to kill me instead of you dying, because, like, if you're in that situation, a lot of people would maybe most likely pick themselves. But, like, I don't know, it's such a funny situation. I love her. Can you understand? Do you know why I love Ashley in that game?
Eon.
Ken probably knows why I love her.
Yeah, I have an inkling.
What is it?
Oh wow.
Let's just say hair.
Yeah, she's a ginger and she's smart and sassy. I also really like oh, why am I blanking on her name right now?
Who's
the brunette?
Man.
Yeah, her. What's her name? Why am I blanking on her name right now?
I don't remember because she doesn't have red hair.
No. I always argue that she wasn't that terrible of a character. Oh, what is her name? Why am I blanking on it? She was the one that was dating Matt.
Yeah.
What's her name though?
Not Veronica, is it?
No, Veronica. I think this is an Archie comic.
I'm trying to remember because they all had like fairly normal
Emily.
American names. Emily. Okay.
I loved Emily, and everyone hates her because she's so mean. But I'm like, she does such a good job, though. Like,
yeah,
I love her.
I found who portrayed her on Twitter one time. I was like, I'm gonna follow her because I'm like, she does such a good job with the role.
You didn't creep on her, did you?
No, I didn't. I like a couple of years later, this like recently, I was like, who's this person? Oh yeah, she's Emily from Until Dawn. Like, I totally forgot I followed her.
I forgot about that until recently, where I realized I was still following Laura Bailey on Twitter. Don't know why I was doing that. I have no reason to follow Laura Bailey. So Animal Crossing.
So yeah, Animal Crossing. Digging up them fossils.
Are you looking forward to the new events coming in the next month or so?
Oh God, no! That bunny is like my nightmares.
We got
I've been really keeping a low profile on the knowledge of what's coming. But
with those events, you should kind of know that they're going to be a thing. But there's going to be an Easter event and an Earth Day event. The Easter event, I think you're collecting eggs and building shit, and then like the Earth Day one, I think you're finding flowers and building shit. I think most of the events are going to be you finding things and building shit.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, right? It was like you finding eggs instead of fossils, and through that you're making it yourself.
Wait, you don't get to find fossils during that time?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be like 90% eggs and 10% fossils, probably.
Okay, No.
So Kyo's just
I'm
quitting
not done. No, I'm not done.
Well, I don't know. I just assume that eggs are going to take place of fossils. I don't think it's going to be totally out of the question that you might find a fossil instead. But I know for a fact that you're going to be finding a lot more eggs compared to fossils.
No.
Because no.
Kyo,
No.
What if they let you hatch a dinosaur? What if you can have a pet dinosaur?
Look, it's about the Easter Bunny. It's not going to have a dinosaur in there.
You have little faith. Well, I'm trying really hard to catch a sturgeon, and I cannot for the life of me get a sturgeon to populate on my island anywhere. I have used so much fish bait. I have killed every manila clam that has ever existed to try and make a sturgeon happen.
You know what's funny? I didn't even find them on my island. I found them on the random generated islands.
Oh no.
I was like,
Yeah,
that's a bigger fish than usual. And I caught it. I was like, I
think they are encouraging online play with the way spawns work, because I did notice this with Alchemy Fox 2, where she was like, she was telling me about how you can get this really common. She's like, just get the blue monarch, and I was like, where? She's like, it's everywhere. Are you kidding me? I'm like, there's none. There are no blue monarchs on my island, not a one. Then I go over to her island. She has like 50. I'm like, huh?
I think
like,
everyone
why do you
has
get all of them.
I think everyone has like maybe one special bug and one special fish that's like more present there. I don't know that for sure, but like I found like who's it? Black Shotgun has a Southern Hemisphere town, and we go there and I got a ton of moray eels the entire time I was there. Then you go to mine, I think you get more of like the crabfish. I'm gonna send you. Oh, you can't send eels. I would send you eels though. I'm gonna.
That's another thing. That's another protective measure. You can't just send living things through the mail.
You can put them in storage. You can put bugs and you can put fish in storage, but you cannot put full trees that you got.
I also played Observer. If you remember that one from last week.
Yeah, how'd that go?
So I'm playing more of it on Thursday, so I didn't get very far. But I understood you had opinions, at least about the developer.
It's made by Bluebird Team. They made Layers of Fear 2, Blair Witch, and Observer. I hate that developer. They suck. They're fucking awful. They're one of the worst developers I've ever seen in my life. They just repurposed their games over and over. I think Observer is maybe the most unique game that they have made. But
I wonder if the baby will run into the cabinet again in Observer.
But like Layers of Fear is a game, like it's a game, that's even being nice to call it that. It's a first person like walking sim game where you walk around this house, you look at a wall, you turn away, you look back, and shit's different. And that's the entire game for hours. Layers of Fear 2 does the same thing, but I think on a boat. And then Blair Witch does the same thing, but in the woods. Observer made me nauseous.
It was definitely going all out with some of those like lensy effects. I know that it was trying to be very Blade Runner-y.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I would say, other than not being able to acquire the license, I think it's literally Blade Runner. Like you play a crotchety old man who's like a detective in ye future land, and it's raining constantly, and there's murder.
Nice.
That's all I know, man. I've been playing bad games, and every so often I go back to Animal Crossing to remind myself of a good game.
Yeah.
And
see, I play a lot of bad games to remind me of how good things are otherwise. It's like, why you play bad games? Like, because it makes me appreciate other ones more. Also because I think you had bad taste in your childhood. Like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider sucks.
Glover?
Glover.
Glover is a masterpiece art to be remembered.
Will you learn to speedrun Glover for me, Timber? Will you do that? Will you learn to speedrun it?
I don't even know if I can regular beat Glover, let alone speedrun it.
Well, the thing is, if you speedrun it, you learn how to beat the game a certain way, so you don't even have to be good at it. You just have to be good at beating the game that way.
I'm not considering this. I'm not speedrunning Glover.
Timber, you can have the world record holder for speed gloving Glover, because I'm pretty sure no one's
speed gloving Glover.
Speed gloving, I heard that too.
I'll be the first speed Glover. Oh no.
Yeah, you can do it. You can hashtag speed glove.
Believe it or not, there is a speed gloving community that speed gloves. So
I'm having like the worst image in my mind of this.
What do you mean Glover series? Speedrun.com has Glover series as an option. What games are in the Glover series?
PS1
PlayStation
and
64.
Glover.
64.
Okay. PC and 64, PS1, and then Glover 2 is just like the same... it's the cover of Glover 1, but with the 2 instead of a star. Because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
How?
It's going to happen.
Surprised there are no resources for this game. Wow, there are the first board I pull up, all main levels, has 22 runners. Since like how recently?
It's a known game. Like, and the thing
well,
about
yeah,
it
of
is
course it's a known game.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not offensively bad. Like, there's nothing offensively bad about Glover. It's just Glover. Like, we looked at the back cover of that game ourselves. Like, its advertising marketing scheme was the fact that you get to do so many things with ball and glove. Like, this... They thought this is what people wanted. It was so earnest in its creation.
So there is a category extension for Glover. It is, let me see where to go. Category extension, because there's like even meme runs for this. And they have, let's see, how many different ones do they have for this? Okay, they have reverse boss order. One-handed is the category extension for it. So you have to have a hand cam on and play it with one hand. There is a single run in this one. So person has de facto world record because they like somehow convinced them they should have a one-handed playthrough. I don't know what the reason was for it.
You should do it. This is how you're going to get your name known.
With
More
a
so.
one-handed speed run of Glover.
TimberTaft of Glover fame.
Of Glover fame. It's like me saying that Ken of Podasaurus fame. Not my other work. Just Podasaurus.
You see, the funny thing is here, you think that the word that is keeping this from happening is Glover, and not the speedrun part of that. Like, if you just said, hey, TimberTaft, play Glover, I would probably actually do it. I'm not gonna speedrun it, because I don't speedrun. My brain doesn't work.
I think you haven't found the right game.
Like
maybe Glover's that game for you.
Yeah, maybe Glover's that game, man.
I'm just watching it render. It's at the end. I'm like, please don't have misspelled anything.
So back to Animal Crossing.
Have you got?
It's been a really good time. I should really have Ken on my friends list so I can also visit your island. Because right now I just have Kyo and Alchemy Fox and a couple other friends who you don't know.
Oh wow, that's really gatekeepy.
I mean, you could come to my island at the same time as them, and then you would know them too.
I have enough people who are always on Switch playing Animal Crossing. Currently, right now, my girlfriend actually has my Switch, so she can use my town to do stuff. She wants to be able to go back and forth and sell fruit, and she also wanted to get stuff and buy things from my shop, and I told her to catch me a string fish, but we will see if she does it because I have like 3 hours left to do that, maybe 2.
Yeah, same. I'm trying to get stringfish, and I'm trying, like, sturgeon, and stringfish are the two things that I desperately need to get in the next few hours.
I'm not too worried about it because I can just what do you call it? I can just go to like Black Shotgun or like any of my Australian friends' like islands in like a couple months and do it again.
True.
Because they have Southern Hemisphere islands.
Yeah. I mean, technically it would be like half a year, but yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be. It would be 3 months until their spring starts.
Southern Hemisphere, wouldn't they be? Because they'd be like basically the opposite season. So they're entering...
Well, they're in fall right now.
Yeah.
So they'd be going
like
to
6 months
winter. Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, well, whatever. I don't care.
That didn't matter anyway. I don't need the string fish.
Well, I'll get it later. See, everyone's trying to like rush through Animal Crossing. Like, I get it because we all want terraforming, but at the same time, like, this is meant to be a relaxing game, and when you're grinding for stuff in Animal Crossing, I feel like you've missed the point of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, there is that. Like, really what happened is I saw a really clickbaity article that popped up on my phone as I was, like, doing other stuff. They were like, did you get all the things before spring ended? And without having much foreknowledge of how Animal Crossing worked before, I was like, oh no, spring is ending. And then or not even spring, just March is ending. And I immediately went into panic mode of like, I got to get the things. I didn't do nearly enough things. I barely played the game. Oh no. So all of a sudden I like jumped in to try and fish my heart out. Because I really barely did any fishing. I probably don't care that much now, though. I'm kind of over it. I caught a few things that I didn't have before, and I'm excited to get more Nook tickets so I can get some new villagers. I'm kind of hoping for... Alchemy Fox has a really good one. I don't remember what the name of the villager is, but it's like a really cute penguin.
Aurora?
Like a... sorry?
Aurora?
Aurora? Is that her name?
Aurora? A-U-R-O-R-A. Aurora. How are you supposed to say that word?
Aurora. You just say Aurora.
Aurora.
What was that? No, Aurora. There you go. You're closer now.
Aurora. I don't understand how I'm saying this wrong.
The first time you said it, I thought that you like got stuck. Like you said the first syllables of something and then just gave up. But no, I get it now. Aurora.
Aurora.
There you go. Yeah, she's really cute. I think that's the one. Now I gotta look.
Oh my god, there's an Animal Crossing. There's like an old penguin and it's never come back, and this thing is frightening looking. It's interesting to see the ones that aren't coming back.
No, not actually Aurora.
Sprinkle?
Shoot, what was this one called? Is it Freckle? How many
Sprinkle?
penguins are in Animal Crossing? Sprinkle, that's the one.
Sprankle.
That has to be it. Yeah, she's so cute. I love that one. If it pops up on one of my islands, I'm snapping it up immediately.
And if she ever moves out of out of Alchemy Fox's town, just take her. Just go and talk to her right away.
Oh, you can do. Is that how that works?
Yep,
You can
people
actually
are
just
leaving. You can go talk to
them.
them enough until they can you convince them to move to your town.
All right, I'll have to keep an eye on her. But I don't think Alchemy Effects would let go of her either, because she's a really good one to have. Apparently, yesterday she spent literally an entire hour singing in the town square, while another person spent an entire hour just listening to her singing the same song for an hour. I didn't even know that could happen, so... Animal Crossing's magic. Also, literally everybody's playing it. Both of my bosses at my job are now scrambling to get Switches so they can play Animal Crossing. They don't even have Switches yet, but they heard so much about Animal Crossing they have to have both now.
I saw someone on my Twitter feed like buy the game, but they don't have a Switch yet. They're like, yeah, still saving up for the Switch, but I got the game. I'm like, why don't you just get the game later then? It confuses me to just have this piece of software for an undetermined amount of time until you can afford the hardware to play it. It's like when people buy a game system at launch and they're like, well, I'll just get games in a few months when they come out. Why didn't you wait for a few months until it came out then? Why did you need the one that came out day one if you're not going to use it? Like, I had people that did it with their 3DS, like, yeah, I'll just wait until something comes out for it before I open it up. Why? Why?
I mean, this broken logic happens all over the place, even with stuff like game sales and pre-orders, where it's like, I don't have time to play the game, but I'm going to buy it right now because one day I'll want to play it.
I understand that if you're like, I'm going to get this when it comes out because it's a special edition, but that's the only time. Or like if you know it's going to be a limited run thing, like things from Limited Run, or like, you know, old like NIS or Atlas RPGs before they started going more corporate and like having more shit come out. Because like I have all the Digital Devil Saga games because they re-released them and it was a single print, so I bought them.
Yeah, I think the funny thing with any of those kind of things is it's just like, even with sales, like I learned to stop buying games when they're on sale because I do not play my games. Like, I have too many of them. There's a reason that I have a randomized game night for my streams now, and that is because I have so many games, I cannot choose which ones to play, because so many of them I have not played. I do not have an opinion on them yet, and I need to. I also watched Godzilla.
Shin Gojira? Or which one?
It was, I think, like Godzilla. Is it Godzilla Legend? Or like whatever the recent one where it had Charles Dance as the villain?
King of Monsters.
King of Monsters, that's the one. You got it.
I like the idea of Godzilla, but I don't really watch movies.
I don't normally. This was kind of a thing with friends, and that was a perfect movie for that kind of thing. Gorgeous special effects, monsters duking it out, and the story was vapid nonsense. So I didn't have to pay attention. Oh, that art for the missing is really good.
Fucking buy that game. Don't buy it for $30 though.
Yeah, I was gonna say $30. I was like, I'll get it, and then I saw the price. I was like, well, I mean.
So to get it out of the way, the last game thing I can think of for this week, are either of you picking up RE3 Remake?
That happening this week?
Yeah, it's happening on Friday. Demo's out. The beta for the multiplayer is up. Reviews are out as well.
I think I'll have to wait on it since I'm going to be on call next week, so I'm pretty much not going to have a life.
Nice.
But then after that...
And how about you, Ken?
When all this blows over so I can pick up a physical copy of the game, I'll probably go and get it, but not at right now.
I need a physical copy of the Japanese version. I need the Zero Z version of that at some point, just for my collection.
Okay. Well, if this whole thing blows over beforehand and I go back in October, I'll try and get it then.
Yeah, I mean that, and I can also order it from Amazon Japan. They ship games to the United States. So if it comes out, I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale, and I just want to get it before it goes into a best price cover.
Yeah, I understand.
It's fucking ugly. But I do have the PC version now. Someone was kind enough to gift it to me, so I will play it. I just don't know when yet. I'm on the fence about streaming it Friday. I said I was going to take the day off, but that was before someone gave me the game. And I don't know if I should stream or not, because I don't know if I want to, be alone that day on stream like I was when RE2 Remake came out, because everyone's just like, oh, it's out now, we're going to go into lurk and leave because we want to play it. It's like, it's a fucking remake. You know exactly what story's going to be in it. It was so weird. So I'm like, I don't want that to happen again. I have this fear every time something like that happens, because everyone's going to be streaming that game again.
Yeah, and even if they weren't, there's this piece of me that really, I don't get it when, and forgive me, I'm sure that there are audience members out there, maybe this can be a good, inverse question for the audience kind of thing. If you're somebody who watches streamers play a new game, how much do you watch of that game from a streamer? Is your goal when you're watching somebody playing a new game to just vicariously experience the entire game with that streamer? Are you using it to assess whether or not you're going to buy the game, and then at a certain indeterminate point you're just going to go buy it and stop watching?
Every single scary game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't play FNAF, so I vicariously live through all the FNAF people, because I hate jump scares. I did
watching Markiplier's FNAF playthroughs while I was doing third shift at a radio station. That was a good idea.
Same for Until Dawn. I waited to watch a playthrough, or I watched some of yours, Kyo, to actually go through.
I feel when it comes to horror games, a lot of people are like that, because they're not good with horror. They like watching it to a point, but they like it, or they will watch it if someone else is doing it, but they cannot do it themselves.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing for me, and I'll vicariously live on through other people for those types of games. If someone was streaming Yakuza, and this would be my first time watching Yakuza, yeah, no, I wouldn't have a good time. Or same for Zelda or anything like that. I don't think, unless for me, it's just so that I know what's to expect for this kind of game, and the story stuff is an extra stuff, and with Until Dawn, because of the added effect of, the story might change through what you're doing. For example, sorry, Kill, but I accidentally killed Ashley
in
my
Until Dawn.
In Until Dawn,
did you?
Because
there's only one way to kill her.
Yeah, I went through the shaft. And I was like, I wonder what this is. Oh my god!
Wait, so you followed the disembodied voice of the dead girl to go and see if she was okay?
No, I was like, oh, what the hell's that voice? Because I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, that.
And then, and I was like, oh no, I just follow everyone. And then there were a voice, and I was like, I don't remember this during the playthrough, and then I picked up the totem, and I was like, "Oh, that thing is bopping around. Let's just find out." I don't think it'll let me continue unless I open it. And then she died, and I was like really fucking mad.
That aside from the end where everyone can die, that is the only time she can die in the game.
What about the fire?
The fire in the house?
Yeah.
Aside from like that, like the end part where like the don't move section, everyone has a chance to die there. Like everyone that's in the house, that's barring that. Like that's how the last time like the two main characters can even die. That's the only place they can. But like Ashley can only die in that one spot, like barring that.
Yeah, so I was really mad at myself, and I restarted. I was like really fucking mad at myself.
Good job. Because like you have to redo the whole playthrough. You can't chapter select in that game.
Yep. So I replayed the entire thing, and I was like, I'm mad at myself. And then I saw that I picked up the tome, and I was like, nope. Oh, take a beeline around the shaft, and I learned that the hard way. And it took me like several hours to get there, and I had to write a note to myself saying, "Don't open the shaft."
That's a great note out of context.
I'm pretty sure that kind of really, it's like everything we had to cover game-wise. Like, there's really not a lot to talk about because we're still waiting for 2 big releases, and everyone's just playing Animal Crossing. It's like the fact that Ken brought up Man of Medan. Like that's how little else is out right now. That's not Animal Crossing. So we're just all in like a holding pattern, waiting for that. Like, you know, Final Fantasy VII remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, any other remakes, whatever.
Yeah. Anything you played a decade ago, prepare to play it again this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll move on to questions. We got a couple. We're just gonna go with 1 or 2 that we had left that are kind of easy to get through. Let's see. First one's from Barrakin, asking me specifically, but I'll ask you guys tomorrow. Or ask you guys not tomorrow. I'll ask you guys as well. I read the word and said it out loud. Barry asked, Kyo, are you excited because tomorrow is the release of Persona 5 The Royal? I honestly forgot it was coming out and don't really care at all because it's, I just don't care. It's a boring, vapid game. How about you two? Are you guys excited for the re-release of Persona 5, the game that came out on the same system like 3 years ago?
I bought it. I'm not excited to play it, so to speak. I just have it. Mm-hmm. Mostly because I wanted the dumb mask, but I'll get through it eventually. I'm not in any rush to go and play it. I'm still playing. I still have my backlog. I'm gonna start. What's that? Zombie game that's not
Days Gone.
Days Gone, yeah. I'm gonna play Days Gone. So
it came out like a year ago.
Probably next episode I'll have a little thing for that. So I'm probably doing that, and then 14. Those are the only 3 or 4 games I'm playing, and the Love Live Star Live Idol Festival game, which is just gacha. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you guys care about me talking about that all too much.
But probably mostly Animal Crossing.
Well, either that, yeah, mostly that, and then 14. Like, now that I'm working at home, I'm on this main computer all day, and I decided to go back to playing 14 on the computer because I've been playing it on the PS4 for the longest time. I was like, oh, it's a nice change. Maybe I should start streaming again.
We're waiting for you.
It's about time.
Well, the only game I'm going to stream is the AKB48 game. So that was my promise that if I ever come back to streaming, that's the first game I'm doing. Maybe I'll try to do the speedrun for that game.
Timber, are you excited for Persona 5 The Royal? I'm going to probably assume no.
I'm very excited for the release of this game on a console I don't own.
Yep. That's exactly what I expected you to say. All right, let's see. We have one more question. This is one there was 2 last time I wanted to skip over. One of them I'm not going to answer because I did a video about what is a retro game. But this one is from Missy Kitty. What really popular retro games do you think would be prime for a remake or a remaster, like the way Crash and Spyro were done? games with little magic, or games that with little magic hold up amazingly well. Honestly, maybe Metroid Prime Trilogy, because that just needs like a facelift and like new controls like that, and like I know it's not necessarily retro, but that, like Skyward Sword, just give me those with like modern controls and like updated graphics.
The original Witcher, please.
The game sucks though.
I like the game.
I was gonna say,
fine.
isn't the difficulty like balls hard
In The Witcher 1?
Yeah.
It's not, so it's difficult through a lack of refinedness in mechanics. So you end up with a lot of backtracking. There's a lot of things that are very easy to miss because it was during the era where the games almost assumed that you had the guide. So it was just like, yeah, you probably have a guide you're reading to do this, so just follow that. And as a result, like, characters can be anywhere. They'll, like, I had this issue with Zoltan on stream where I spent a good like hour just being like, I need to turn this quest to Zoltan. Where is Zoltan? I go out into the street. Where is Zoltan? I go into the shops. Where is Zoltan? I spent so much time, and I eventually discovered that he apparently randomly over the course of several days will gravitate between being in the streets, being inside of the banker's house, and being at the bar. And I'm just supposed to know that these are his favorite spots, right? So like, in this giant town, trying to find one NPC can be a nightmare. Other than that, difficulty as far as like combat and stuff, if you spec your character wrong, it is a very hard game. But as long as you make sure to actually buff up your base stats so you don't gimp your character early on, you'll be fine. I don't think it's challenging when it comes to combat. It's challenging because the game doesn't tell you anything half the time. There was a case where there was this guard at the guard post called Siegfried, and I did a quest, and after that quest, Siegfried just wasn't there, but I had to turn in a quest to him. I went to his tower and waited around for 3 in-game days before going, well, I guess he's just done. I guess he died. I don't know where Siegfried is, so I go about my business, go to the swamp to do a bunch of other quests, and suddenly, in the middle of the deepest part of the swamp, and I see like a glint of red on the screen. I go, Siegfried? What the hell are you doing here? This is a totally different zone. Why are you here? No one told me. So that just keeps happening. It's a fun game, but it definitely it's not kind to filling you in about anything. So I have opted, as of my Saturday stream for The Witcher, to actually just have a guide open so that I stop spending so much time wandering in circles trying to find things, because I am very familiar with the city of Vizima at this point, and I don't want to start counting cobblestones. Also, Medieval would be a good one for a remake.
Medieval? The PS1 game?
I thought they're doing that.
It's done. It came out last year.
I think I have heard that. Oh, they did it already.
Came out 6 months ago.
Was it good?
I don't know.
Was it good?
I didn't play it.
Why did no one talk about this? This feels like it went completely under the
radar. You didn't even know what happened. You just asked for something that exists and wouldn't know why no one talked about it.
Yeah, exactly. So why did no one talk about it? Why is this remake? Is it not good?
No, it's just because it's Medieval. Medieval has a niche audience. It's got a small audience compared to what people think it did. Did you have any, Ken?
The original Metal Gears, or maybe Acid. Bring it to
Dude, give me Acid 1 and 2. Let's give me those just give me those on PC. Be happy with that.
Yeah. Just probably anything of the older Metal Gear games, especially for the Vita or for the PSP, because they need to have those games out.
I mean, Portable Ops is never coming back, but I could see the Acid games being worthy of coming back.
Yeah, it's sad, but one of those games, and for a random game, Rascal or Heart of Darkness for the PS1.
Heart of Darkness would be an amazing one. Yeah, I want to see that one. Because that game is clunky as hell to try to play now. But the concept was very... Boy, that game's such a trip.
Alright, well, we only have one more question. It comes from Meiko, and she asked, Nani ga hoshi? Ken?
I want a Matsuya Gyudon Odori. That sounds good right now.
Nice. See that? I want Mitsuya cider and some like shitty food from the kombini.
Well, if you come here, we have lots of Mitsuya cider.
I want that so bad.
I remember the next time I go in town.
Did I take you to the place that had like the big thing with like fried rice with a big piece of chicken on top?
No. We went to the other place that you go to.
The curry place?
Yes.
Okay, that's just as good. I want either of those, to be honest. And
I actually
Timber, nani ga hoshii?
Today I ate a ramen. It was very good.
One ramen.
It was a homemade ramen. Yeah.
Nice.
I actually had so there was leftover pork belly in my folks' fridge. So we just stewed that in a boiling pot for like 12 hours so that it could make the broth. And it also doubled in making the pork belly very tender. And then combine that with like sesame oil, soy sauce, some sake. I was surprised I had so many ingredients that I could use to make ramen with in the house.
Nice. All right, but nani ga hoshii? Just say something.
Yeah, Nani ga hoshii? Glover 2 ga hoshii?
Yeah.
All right, okay, take us out of here, Timber.
Yes, so I don't speak Japanese. Hello, everybody. I am TimberTaft. If you would like to see more content from me and the things that I am making, you can go to twitch.tv/TimberTaft to see my streams, where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. I hesitated because Mondays don't happen as often these days, but, most of the time. YouTube.com/TimberTaft if you'd like to see my top 10s, parody songs, covers, and analyses videos. My most recent video is a Toss a Coin to Your Witcher cover, and I will be doing one more video about The Witcher that's coming soon, where I effectively review the original game. So you have those to look forward to. And if you want to see my schedule, you can go to twitter.com/TimberTaft, where I have my schedule posted, also in the Discord, but the link for the Discord is in the Twitter, so you should just go there. Kyo, where can people find you?
You can find me on everything at KyoryuHunter, which is easier to spell than it is to say. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch. I stream every weekday, Monday through Friday, that is, from 7 a.m. Central Time until I get tired, usually between noon and 2. So I'm going for about 5 to 7 hours every day, and I usually play horror, retro, and bad games. Lately I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil. By the time this goes up, I'll have just completed a Resident Evil week, and you'll find out that my special surprise game at some point throughout the week, either being on Wednesday or Thursday, would be Resident Evil 2 Remake, probably. If not, then this will have aged poorly. But you can also find me on YouTube where we have you can also find me on YouTube where I have a series going up called Retrosaurus. We'll have an episode up this past week that hopefully you will have watched. You can also support that on Patreon in addition to supporting Podasaurus on Patreon to get that on more things than just YouTube. And how about you, Ken?
You can find me on my Japanese music-based podcast called Ongaku. You can find it at all the lovely Instagrams and Twitters. You can also find it on the site ongakudu.com. You can also follow me personally on Twitter at OTYKen1, where I mostly talk about Bang Dream, Final Fantasy XIV, and more Bang Dream.
And as a couple closing notes here of things that I forgot to mention while we were in the main body of the podcast, it is going to be the 20th anniversary of Majora's Mask this coming month, so you should probably play that game if you haven't yet. It's a great game, my favorite Zelda. And also, during these times of ours, if you are a fan of mobile games that are puzzle games, even a little, Monument Valley 2 is currently free on the Play Store and iOS Apple stores, so you should just download that and play it. It's really good.
How long is that good for?
It's I don't know.
This goes up on Monday.
Probably. It's just puzzles.
This goes up on Monday.
I think it's still going. I don't know when the expiration is, but if it's as of today, it's still free.
This is the 31st of March, in case people are wondering.
Yes.
Takes me a
might
week
put
to
the
edit
PS in
this
Twitter
stuff.
as well.
I'm sorry.
Of our Lord 2020.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and listening to us talk about Animal Crossing. Have a good one.
Bye.
Aloha.
Mm.